Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. If you can, just open up the room a minute early. Let me know in the chat box, where are you dialing in from? And please, if you're comfortable putting your cameras on, please do. I had 100 people register for this morning. I see 5 people in the room. So thank you for being a go-getter, believing in yourself, trusting in yourself so you can learn something new. But I'd love to hear, where are you dialing in from? Excited to be working with you this morning and spending the next 90 minutes with you. So in the chat box, let me know where you're dialing in from, and please feel free to put your camera on if you're comfortable to do that. Manette, hi, from a fresh Rosebud. I hear you. It is freezing today in Cape Town as well. Really, really cold, and I'm in Joburg next month, and I'm a bit like, I know it's so much colder there as well. So welcome, Manette. Lovely to have you here. We got Natasha, 2 Natashas. Not sure if the same Natasha, different Natashas. Got Lisa. Thank you. Nice to have you here. More people coming into the room now, sliding in. Morning from a sunny Durban. C. Jarvis, nice to have you here. Thank you. Got 2 Renels coming in. Fabulous. Natasha from Four Ways. Natasha, is that both your logins, or is there 2 Natashas? Let me know. Morning to Renal. A lot of people still logging in. Let me just give it a couple more minutes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lovely to have you here. Everyone using time wisely, sliding in right on the dot. Thank you. All right. I'm Lisa from Olivedale. Nice. Nice to meet you. Nice to have you here. Thank you so much. Please go ahead in the chat box, introduce yourself. Let me know as well. You can see me and hear me as well as see my slides. Please just confirm with me that you can see my slides. A week ago, I was doing a masterclass and chatting away, and somebody was like, halfway through, like, did you have slides? I was like, oh my gosh. So awesome. Welcome. Nice to have you. Got Renal Jordan, Renal from Rensburg, Randy, perfect. C. Jarvis, Dewey Susani, nice to have you. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. Fabulous. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Welcome to everyone again. 9 people here out of 100. So usually on a Zoom, I don't know how many of you do webinars, is a 20% show up rate. This is 5%. So everyone's still in weekday zone. But I'm excited that you've said yes to be here with me this morning. Welcome. I do also want to let you know that you stay to the very end, and I am going to share a gift with you. What I would like, though, if you can, in the chat box, please go ahead and drop your email address. If you don't want to send it on the group, you can just send it privately to me. That way, when I finish this one, before I head into my next training session, I can quickly tag you and send you that thank you gift for showing up. So in the chat box, just drop your, please go ahead and drop your email address, either privately or you can drop it to everyone. That's also okay. And then there we go. Thank you, Chantal. I can tag you and send that gift as well. All about saving time. So wonderful. Lots of people dropping in. Fabulous. Excellent. Super glad to have you. So today we're going to speak about managers' most common mistakes. And I will be checking the chat box sporadically. I will be asking questions. So please keep your fingers on the keyboard as well. And in the meantime, I'm just going to ask you to have some fun, sit back, enjoy, be participative, because that's where you take relentless action, you know, putting yourself out there. There will be a live Q&A at the end as well. So 90 minutes, jam-packed value. And I want to welcome you to Managers' Most Common Mistakes Masterclass. Very excited, lots of different people, lots of different industries. Fantastic, excited to have you here. Now, how many of you feel like you live the perfect balanced life? That while you are at work, you can achieve all your goals. So when you get home, you have quality time, your family, your friends, even yourself. Days off you can spend on the golf course or pamper days at the spa. How about long, lazy lunches on a wine farm on a beautiful summer's day? Or dinner dates with your partner, have you thought about that trip to the Maldives? I mean, doesn't this just sound like the perfect life, or is it just a dream? Now, I do a lot of training and a lot of coaching, and so many of my clients say to me, Nikki, all we need is more time, more balance. Well, how many of you feel the same? Now, self-disclosure, I have not yet mastered balance, but the simplified tools that I've learned and now share definitely help me bring balance back into my life, or stay conscious about where balance is showing up in my life. Because let me ask you, can balance be mastered? Well, think about somebody walking across a tightrope between two high-rise buildings. When is balance the most important? The beginning, the middle, or the end? Just let me know in the chat box. When is balance the most important? Beginning, middle, or the end? How many of you feel like you're mastering balance? So when is balance the most important for you? Somebody walking across the tightrope between two high-rise buildings. The beginning, the middle, or the end? Go ahead, drop it in the chat box. Let me make sure you're all here. Hi, Michelle, Yvette, Nikki, Mandy, and Ashley. Welcome, welcome, welcome. When do you think balance is the most important? Please go ahead, drop it in the chat box. All right, all the way through. Thank you, Manette. Every step of the way. So I want to share with you, like today, this is definitely for you. If you're in a position and you're exhausted from doing it all alone, lacking work-life balance. This is also for you if you don't know the steps of how to recruit the perfect team member. This is also for you if you've been managing your team, but not leading your team. This is for you if you want to delegate, or you know how to delegate, but you don't always get those desired results. And this is also for you if you handle conflict, but not always getting the win-win result. So let me know in the chat box, which one resonated the most for you? You want work-life balance. You would love to understand how to recruit the perfect team member. You'd like to see the difference between managing and leading your team, irrespective of their personalities. Or D, learn how to delegate to always get the desired results. Or E, conflict for a win-win. Let me know in the chat box. A, B, C, D, or E, which one resonates the most for you? A, B, C, D, or E, or all of them? All right, all of them, E, all of them, all please, okay, all of them. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Michelle. Is it Michelle or Michael? Thank you, all for me, appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let me ask you, in this room, are you in a leadership position? Just let me know in the chat box. Are you in a leadership position, yes or no? Okay, Beth says yes, Nikki says yes, Chantal, yes. Okay, Mandy, no, yes, 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 yes. Fantastic. And whether you are or not yet, you're still in the perfect place to be. Because I'm going to share some stories with you a little bit later of people that started with me, not in that leadership position yet, who now currently are. My second question I want to ask you, have you studied for the position you're in, or if you're in a leadership role, or were you internally promoted? If you're internally promoted, just drop an IP. Let me know, have you studied or were you internally promoted? Okay, internally and promoted, studied. All right, 40 years experience, studied. Yes, studied, internally promoted, studied. Okay, studied. All right, fantastic. If you can hear my dogs barking outside, sorry, I'm a rescue foster failure. I've got too many of them, and I see they're going crazy about something outside. So, all right, so lots of studied, lots of internally promoted. Now, the beauty I want to say in South Africa is a lot of people were internally promoted into senior positions. Often in the time of 31 years experience working in leadership, I've worked with a lot of people and internally promoted a lot of people as well as myself. Whereas working overseas for 10 years, you were not allowed to step into a leadership role or a management role without a degree. So they're a lot more strict across the board, whether they are, as opposed to South Africa. Yet, the beauty about South Africa and internally promoted, we often get internally promoted because we're shining stars, but sometimes we're putting out fires, and often the fires we created because we haven't always been given the simplified tools of how to do it. And that's what I want to share with you today. All these mistakes are mistakes that I've made, plus I've learned the tools of how to overcome them. Because it's not your fault that you potentially were that shining star too. Somebody saw that in you and promoted you internally, or even with studying, but we haven't always learned the exact tools of how to handle every single scenario as a manager. It's also not your fault that you do feel like you're putting out fires without realizing we've actually sometimes started those fires. It's also not your fault if you're not clear on how to recruit the perfect staff member, or maybe you're not allowed to have a say in who you lead. It's also not your fault that you haven't been taught the tools of how to shift from managing to leading. Also realizing and recognizing we have lots of different personalities that we're leading, and how do we get the desired result? It's not your fault with clear delegation that most of us only know a 3-step process, when in fact it's a 6-step process. And it's also not your fault that we don't always know how to handle conflict, because that comes with brave strength, but also different personalities. Different personalities have no problem handling conflict, with other ones do. But sorry, not your fault that you're struggling with all of this and often lack the work-life balance, just trying to do it all on your own. And not your fault that you're stuck and you can't potentially go on that long trip to the Maldives and have your business or your position running just as well as whether you're there or not. But I want to share some valuable tools with you over the next 90 minutes. Wave my magic wand and go wish, 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 and share some simplified tools that hopefully can help you from today and your transformation from a manager into a leader. So, I get this. I started as a young age. I'm struggling to talk today. I need another coffee. I started at a young age of 15 years old, and I fell in love with the hospitality industry. And when I started at the age of 15, working in a little restaurant in Cape Town City Center, I used to work every Christmas, holidays, school holidays, and weekends. By the time I turned 18, they offered me an assistant management role, which I did for 6 months. Then I decided to go off traveling. My mom and late stepdad had gone off on a yacht to cruise the world. I thought they were going on holiday, but when they didn't come home, I decided to go and join them. And that allowed me to spend 3 years working on yachts, sailing across the world. But I fell in love with our destination of the Caribbean. And at the age of 22, I got my first role as an assistant manager of a restaurant. Small little restaurant, 40-seater, 15 staff members. And I remember my boss was a dictatorial, aggressive leader. I mean, his tantrums were Oscar worthy. When I worked for him for 3 months, I was his longest manager that had stuck around. And I stayed for 3.5 years. That was from 22 to 25 years old. And what I learned was how many mistakes I was making as a manager. and how much better I could have been. But I learned a lot working under this dictatorial, aggressive leadership style, and slowly through my own mistakes improved. That when this lovely restaurant across the bay was recruiting for a general manager, I applied for that position and then worked there for 4.5 years. Working in the Caribbean gave me a lot of international experience from staff members, cultures, and with clients. But I decided after 10 years living overseas, I wanted to come home. I joined the Woolworths coffee shops back in 2005. And when I started with the Woolworths coffee shops, which is run by Tribeca, we had 32 restaurants. When I left, over 150 restaurants. We had a staff complement of 452 staff. When I left, over 2,500 staff. So it was very instrumental in the growing of the Woolworths coffee shops. And I used to love saying yes to the promotion, yes to working the extra shift, yes to traveling around the country, yes to anything that could help empower me to be better. And as I grew in this role, and as I wanted to consistently keep learning, I also grew to be exhausted. Some days I felt like I was on this hamster wheel, just going around and around and around. And then this quote popped up, the 3 C's of life: choices, chances, changes. You must make a choice to take a chance, or your life will never change. And that's when I was like, okay, what needs doing? How can I make this change? I went to my amazing director and I said to him, please, I need to become better in my role. And I want to go and study. I want to learn as much as I can. During that stage, he allowed me to do as many courses as I chose to do, as long as I came back, applied it into our business life, and wrote training. And I started heading up our national training center as well. During this time of my 14 years, I grew to a national customer service head. I had a regional team of 8 regional managers, over 300 managers, and 2,500 staff. Simply, we grew because I discovered these simplified tools. Simplified tools that I could share and keep growing more people within the business. And that is the way I like to work. For those of you that have worked with me before, you'll know that every single training session I offer is simplified tools. Elegant simplicity, simplified, 4 steps, 5 steps, or 6 steps, so you can remember every step of the way. And that's when I, for 14 years, was National Customer Service Head. I also was head of leadership training and recruitment. And I learned so many different things on this incredible journey. But again, that quote came up, the 3 C's of life. And I was like, well, I don't want to do hospitality for another 29 years. I decided then to join the real estate sector as a team leader. I worked there for 16 months, running a team of 50 real estate agents, again, motivating, driving. And what I learned there was the language of leadership was universal, be it hospitality or be it real estate. But 16 months into my role, 2 days before COVID hit, our entire leadership team got retrenched. And that's when I said, well, say yes, let me start my own training company. And that's where the Winning Attitude Skills Training was born. My business is now 5 years old. I offer multiple training programs, but I'm consistently still focusing on the growth mindset. So even with 31 years experience in leadership, I listen to leadership books every single day. I surround myself with leaders constantly to see how I can grow and improve as well. So for everybody that's here today, I want to say welcome. Thank you for choosing to be here. Thank you for coming here with your growth mindset as well. I really do appreciate it. So quite a lot of people that joined in after I did my intro as well. Please go ahead in the chat box, drop your email address. You stay to the very end. Zoom will give me an attendance register, but then I can just quickly tag you with your email address and send you a gift as a thank you. So you're welcome to drop it into the chat box or send it to me privately, but please, please do drop your email address so I can do that straight after the session. I have a 20-minute gap before I jump into my next coaching call. So welcome to everyone. Here's my beautiful family, my son from the top right-hand side. Here's my Caribbean souvenir. I didn't want to come back with the t-shirts. I made a baby. And my lovely blended family that I came back and joined. Since then, I've got on a journey of learning public speaking. I now speak on stages up to 5,000 people nationally and internationally. I'm a TEDx speaker coach. And again, constantly learning, saying yes, learning how, always looking how I can grow and skill myself. So welcome to Managers' Most Common Mistakes Masterclass. There is a lot of information that we're going to share. But there's an elephant in this room. I mean, realistically, we're here for 90 minutes today. I cannot, until 12:30, share my 31 years experience with you in 90 minutes. So only when it's time, with your permission, I am going to ask if I can share more information with you of my powerful leadership transformation course as well. I like to be transparent. But I've taken these 31 years of life experience, plus hundreds of thousands of rand invested in myself to embrace it into a simplified 12-module tool just for you. If you don't know who I am, if you've never worked with me before, please go ahead and Google Nikki Abraham or the Winning Attitude Skills Training. Go and see what other people have said about me. Currently, I've actually got 116 Google reviews and 25 Facebook reviews. So go and see what other people have said. And that way you can see the difference my tools have made in their life. So before we dive in, let me know in the chat box, are you ready? Which means cell phone is closed, email browser closed. You can give me 100% attention, because even giving me 100% attention, you will only hear 40% of what I say. Crazy, hey? Your head's doing this, and what's for supper? I'm really hungry. Oh, that was interesting. And we go off on a little squirrel, and we miss it. So close your cell phone, close your email browser, give yourself the gift until 12:30, so you can walk away with one simplified tool. So let me know in the chat box. Renal said yes, thank you. Are you ready to dive in? I want to make sure you're listening, you're here, you're awake, you're alive and alert. Thank you, Yvette. All right, thank you, other Renal. Fabulous. Ashley, wonderful. And let's dive straight in. So what is the difference between a manager and a leader? Now, a lot of us internally grown into becoming a manager means we're leading a team, but we don't always get the desired result. I know in my first decade working in a management role, without having studied these simplified tools, I often felt like I was standing in front of my team, giving them a direct instruction, walking away, and when nothing happened, I was simply just taking a walk. The difference between a manager and a leader is the leader has the ability to influence their team to achieve a common goal. So a leader has the ability to influence their team to achieve a common goal. And that is the difference. We need to look at how are we delivering our message? How is our team understanding our message? And are they buying in to what we say? And only once your team buys into what you're saying, respectfully, are you then stepping into that leadership role. Now, there's many different things when you think, well, it doesn't always happen. And you're not. You're really not alone in this. Because so many of us, including myself, stepped into this role with very little or zero training. In fact, a couple of years ago, I trained an entire executive leadership team. And when I started my training, I went around the room and I said, what expertise do you have? 10 out of 12 people in that room all said to me, oh, we have MBAs. And at the end of the training, I was like, how did my simplified tools help you? And I could see their growth within a couple of weeks. And so many of them said, Nikki, we learned this information with our MBA, but we were never taught how to put it into application. So when we're looking at that, we don't always realize what we don't know costs us time, energy, trust, and quite often some of our best staff. And today I want to share with you, these challenges are real, but they are not permanent. So I've asked you in, you've said you're in, let's go. It starts with the manager, specifically every single person in this role, consistently focusing on their mindset, but also their attitude. You need to want to be in this position. You need to choose to be in this position. I've often worked with people and I said, oh, I see a leadership potential in you. Can I promote you? And they've said, no, thank you. Trust them until they're ready. Not everybody wants this role. So specifically, you need to be ready for this role. You need to have that positive mindset, because whatever you say and what your actions will inspire accountability to your team. So one of managers' most common mistakes is poor hiring decisions. This is where it all starts. So let me ask you in the chat box, let me know, are you responsible for recruitment? Yes or no? Are you responsible for recruitment? Yes or no? Okay, Natasha says yes, no, yes, part of a team. Okay, yes, 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 no, no. All right, so a little mix. And secondly, if you're not responsible for recruitment, so those of you who said no, are you part of the recruiting decision, yes or no? Because that is what is so important. Think about when you start a new role as a manager, you suddenly inherit a team of people that you need to lead. How many of them would you have hired? So if you're not responsible for recruitment, you definitely need to put your hand up and say, please, can I be part of the recruitment process? I want to be able to choose the people I work with. And this is the important part of understanding recruitment and how do we follow this recruitment process. So often we've trained as managers, we train to do a role, we train different job responsibilities, but we're not trained on how to bring the best people in to work with you. So what comes up often with recruitment is, firstly, we need to identify what staff members do we need in our team, and then where do we find them? And this is something, I have a course called Recruiting Talent, but it comes back into how do we source our applicants? Because as a leader, you need to be so specific about what positions are available, what personality is going to best suit the position and complement your current team. And then where are you going to find those people? And then how do you word that as advertisements that those people are like, oh, that advert spoke directly to me? Because if you're looking for talent, talent is also potentially looking for you. And sometimes you might feel your talent is sitting on LinkedIn or on Facebook, but maybe they are on TikTok or Twitter. So how do we word those advertisements to get people looking for us? Then it's about how do we go ahead and screen CVs? And over my, in the Woolworths coffee shops, 14 years of recruitment, I saw some incredibly scary CVs. So what do we look out for? From the pre-interview process, which saves time, to the interview process, I actually share over 150 questions you can choose from to use, to the closing of the interview, to most importantly, the reference checks. Because this area is often what happens is, I need somebody really quickly. Place an ad, 5 people apply, and they all kind of here. And what happens is we choose the best of here. And we don't choose the right person. So it's about following this process to make sure you get the right person. And the cost of doing nothing, think about how many of us have the wrong person in the wrong role. I coached so many different people around the world, and they're like, I've got the most amazing person. They're absolutely incredible, but they cannot do their job. But yet, we can't fire them because they're not bad. They're just not doing their job. But what is the cost of somebody doing the incorrect position? Let's just work on an average of maybe you spend 16 hours a month fixing their problems or their poor performance. Average salary, 20,000 Rand per month. Take that in loss of time, turnover, and their mistakes. In a year, that's 208 hours and over 50,000 Rand wasted in time. So ask yourself, what would the cost be for you to understand how to recruit so that you can lead with clarity, confidence, and connection? Often, when it comes to recruitment, and we don't have the right person, we immediately have a loss of productivity and profitability. So looking at that, what is staying the same with the same team, not doing their work, actually costing you? Now, often when I speak to leaders, one of the things that comes up is we don't always have job responsibility agreements, or otherwise known as what do you call it? Job responsibility, your job agreements. So, or your key responsibilities. I like the word responsibility because it allows you to focus on those responsibilities. The job description. You need to have your set standard. And if I'm hiring 5 people that are here, and I choose the best of that 5, I might spend 6 months training them just to meet my expectations. Now, for them, they've had 100% growth. For me, they've only met my expectations. I would rather take those 5 CVs that haven't met my minimum expectation and start from scratch, instead of hiring square pegs and sticking them in round holes. Take the time in recruitment to make sure you know exactly what you need, the personality you need, make sure you word your advertisements accordingly, and then go source your talent. So it's not just your time, it's energy, it's team morale, having the right people. And how often are we so excited to get to this management role? And then we start falling out of love with our role. The role that we worked so hard to get to, simply because we stuck with the wrong team. I remember the second restaurant I ran in the Caribbean saying to my boss once, it's like, running a restaurant is so easy, but the staff. And that's what he said to me. Leadership isn't about running operations. It's about leading your team to get where you want them to be. And that's how you master leadership. So let me ask you, how would you be able to improve your leadership skills if you had the right team? What difference could this make to you? Now, the whole goal here is to build you up as a leader, and specifically having a team that you want to lead and also deserve. The second of managers' most common mistakes is leading your team irrespective of their personalities. How many of you have done personality profiling or disc profile or Enneagram or focusing on different personalities? Because there are so many different kind of personality profiling out there, but yet so many people I work with have never understood personality profiling. Now, when we think about personality profiling, I personally use the DISC profile. And the important part here is when I share this is actually already a 2-hour training session, just this. And I just want to touch on it for you. Is the importance of the DISC profile is realizing and recognizing that all of us fit in all 4 squares, but most of us are majority in 1 or 2 of the squares. And each of these squares has strengths and weaknesses. But it's more importantly, how do we, number 1, understand ourselves? Number 2, how do we adapt our communication style when we understand our team to lead them to get the best result? So I'm going to share a little bit about the DISC with you. And as I'm saying it, start thinking about, oh, is that me? Does that resonate with me? So somebody that is very dominant and formal on the top left-hand side falls under the D of DISC, also known as direct. Their personalities are very task-orientated, very bottom-line people. Hurry up, get the job done. They love challenges. They come across quite direct. I always say they use the slogan, just do it, just get it done. Direct personalities can come across very fast and aggressive. Great in CEOs, great in leadership, great to tell people what to do. They like to be kept in the loop, but they don't have a lot of time for chit or chatter. They more importantly want to get the result. Very bottom-lined people. In the color world, some people do discs, some people do colors. They're known as the red personality. Top right-hand side is the I, yellow for influential. They are very motivational, positive, happy people. They are motivated by flattery. They generally are the life of the office, very expressive, very loud. People like to be around them because they're inspirational. Yet, sometimes they would much rather be having fun than actually getting their job done. And because of that, might jump around from task to task too fast, often getting bored easily. Then we have the bottom right-hand side. Informal, easygoing, S, green for steady. Steady personalities are peacemakers or peacekeepers. Very gentle souls, excellent listeners, and they love to help everyone, often compromising them getting their own work done, simply because they hate saying no to anyone else. Then the bottom left-hand side, easygoing and C for formal, for C for compliant. Your blue personality is otherwise known as analytical. Compliant personalities like to have all the data to make sure that the information is correct, so that it's better for the company. They love numbers, they love figures, they love doing graphs. So if we look at these different personalities, let me know in the chat box which one resonated the most for you. D, I, S, or C. Or maybe you can have DI or IS. You can have two next to each other. Renelle says D. Okay, Leonie says S. C. What about everyone else? What resonated the most for you? Nikki, DS. Okay, SC, Ashley. So ideally, as soon as I start seeing these different personalities, I know how I need to change my tone to Renelle, to Ashley, to Nikki, to Chantal, specifically those that have answered, to get the best result. So a D to a high D, let's use it as an example of when I worked in hospitality. Say I walk into a restaurant and I need the floor swept. A D to a D can go, Renelle, please go sweep the floor. Renelle will go sweep the floor. A D to a I can go sweep the floor, and they go, Did your mother not teach you please or thank you? That's not the way you speak to someone. I can go, Ashley, go sweep the floor. She'll go sweep the floor, but she may have a little tear running down her face going, that was so hard. She said it so like aggressively. I'll go, Chantal, to a C, go sweep the floor. And she'll go, which floor would you like me to sweep? Do you want me to use the red broom or the green broom? How much time do I have? Do I need to sweep from the front to the back or the left to the right? Right now, all I need is the floor swept. So as a D, I can go, Renelle, please go sweep the floor. Renelle will go sweep the floor. To a high I may give a compliment, say something, spark a little bit of positivity and go, oh, Randy, you look amazing today. Please can you go sweep the floor? And go, sure, no problem. To an S, all I'll do is soften my tone and say, Ashley, please can I ask you to sweep the floor? And she'll go, sure. Whereas to my C, Chantal, please can I ask you to sweep the floor? Use the red broom, sweep from the front to the back, and you've got 5 minutes. She'll go, perfect. So the importance of understanding your personality, then your team's personality, and how do you communicate to get the best result is incredible. This alone is the biggest game changer, and not only in business, at home as well. I'll often on this session start with this particular picture and say, looking at this photo, 6 people, I can tell you their personality. They've all received the exact same response, yeah, all of them. But how their behavior is, the way they're sitting, their clothes, their interaction, their body language, I can tell you exactly what personality they are simply by observing those things. And this is such an incredible tool to come back to recruitment, come back to leading your team, and also empowering your team to reach their full potential. So how would this affect your leadership skills once you understand each staff member? Would it impact it? Would it help? Let me know. Then, managers' third most common mistakes. All right, Renelle says yes, Yvette says yes. Fantastic. Managers' third most common mistakes. How many of you, and let me know in the chat box, just put a 1 for a yes or 2 for a no. How many of you would love more work-life balance? 1 yes, 2 for a no. How many of you would love more work-life balance? All right, I see lots of ones coming through. Lots and lots and lots of ones. And that's, you know, speaking and working with so many different leaders, so many different industries. Don't you just feel like life is just getting harder and harder? And we feel like we need to work more and more because, yeah, inflation keeps going up, cost of living keeps going up, business doesn't go up as fast as the cost of living. And now the pressure is just on us. And if we don't do a 10, 12-hour day, I mean, how are we going to even get through our day? Well, most people feel the same. Yet, if we start focusing on the 80-20% principle, and this particular principle, if you've heard about it before, fabulous. I use it right throughout all my training. But it's how to focus on the 20% that matters to give you 80% result. And the important part here, what I would highly recommend you all do after today's session, print out your job description or your job responsibility agreement or your key responsibilities for your business. Take a highlighter and highlight that 20% you were hired for. Now, your entire responsibility agreement would be your job description. But what are the most important things, your expert that you were hired to do? And highlight those. That is your 20%, the 20% you were hired for. Everything else you do after that 20%. Or you see, who can I delegate those things to? And this is when it comes back into what is my goal? What is that 20% I was hired for? And how's that going to help me grow professionally and personally? And you start with that. But often what we do is we start with what we love or we start with what we think is important. Yet, how many things on your job responsibility agreement could you get someone else to help you with or do at a later stage? The second thing is focusing on those big rocks and then blocking time to get it done. Blocking time for that 20%. And let me ask you, how often at the end of the day, excuse me, how often at the end of the day, do you go to bed and go, oh, that was such a busy day. I'm so tired. My question I would ask you is, how productive was your day? There is such a massive difference between productivity and being busy. In fact, my previous director that I had at Woolworths, he is an incredible man. And often after a really busy day, I'd phone him and go, shoo, today was so busy. His question he used to ask me was, how much value did you add to my company today? Quite a profound question. And 5 years in working with my own business, I still ask myself that every day. What value did I add to my company today? Because there's nothing worse being busy or pretending to be busy just for being busy. What value did you add to your company today? And that makes a massive role in your mindset. So we need to switch from this long, tedious to-do list into our success list. The most important things. Now, often we write these to-do lists and it consists of everything we need to do, which often can take us off track just because it's on the list, because we feel like we need to tick it off, which is a time waster. how many of you actually go to your to-do list to tick something off that's not there? So you quickly write it just so you can tick it off. I mean, I've been guilty of that. We really want to focus on our success list, the 20% that matters. Success lists are short. I have 3 things a day on my success list. The most important non-negotiables. I am not allowed to do anything else until these 3 things are done. And I number them on importance, 1, 2, and 3. And only once one's done, do I go to 2, then I go to 3, and then I will start working on the 80%. So this helps me get those extraordinary results. It helps me stay focused. Most importantly, it helps me to succeed. I have something that I use called a 4-1-1. And it's a tool that I use for all my coaching clients, and in fact, on most of my programs. 4-1-1 is 1 year, 1 month, 4 weeks. It's taken from the book, The One Thing. I've just created it into a spreadsheet. And what I do with all my coaching clients is we focus on our success list only. So we set our yearly goals and we copy and paste it across the 12 months. At the bottom, there will be a tab for each month. Then we focus on our monthly goals, personal, professional, financial. And then we break it down into 4 weeks, specifically staying focused onto what we achieve. I've been using this tool since 2019, since I've learned it. And the amount of work-life balance it's given me is incredible. The lovely thing is here, I actually do this tool every weekend preparing for the next week. And then I come to my calendar and I time block. Let me know in the chat box, who does time blocking? Who knows what time blocking is about? Welcome to those that have just arrived. But let me know in the chat box, who knows what time blocking is about? Most definitely do, Natasha. Chantal says yes. Yvette says no. Yes. All right. Lucas says no. So it's about looking at your calendar and about putting time in your calendar to allocate for different goals. Now, I'm going to share a copy or a screenshot of what my calendar looks like. This would have completely freaked me out before I learned it. But now that it's become a habit, using this tool, focusing on number 1, my success list. 2, putting my success list into this document of my 4-1-1. I then put it into my calendar. And I color code my calendar according to working in my business, working on my business, because that's important. Whether you're working for yourself or working in a company, you need time working in your business doing your 20%. But you also need time working on your business about strategizing and how to take your business to the next level. Then what I do on my 4-1-1, just as an example, my dark green is when I'm earning money. This is working in my business when I'm physically training. My light green is when I'm working on my business, doing webinars, meeting new people, phoning clients, following up. Then I have blue is when I'm focusing on my 4-1-1, my goals. And orange is my personal time, which prior to 2019, having very little work-life balance, I had very little personal time. Whereas now I have a good hour or 2 per day for me, focusing on where am I going, strategizing for my next level, but also making sure I'm adding value to my business today. Now, this does take time to get used to, but I can tell you, if I'm ready to go to the Maldives because I've got work-life balance, who's ready to join me? So this question helps me so much, again, taken from the book, The One Thing. Anytime I'm feeling overwhelmed, anytime I think I've got so much to do, what's the one thing you can do such by doing it will make everything else easier or unnecessary? If you just screenshot that, save it to your phone and say, all right, every time I'm feeling overwhelmed, ask yourself that question. Stop, breathe, go to that one thing of your success list and just dive straight in. So how much more would you do if you had more time? How many of you would love more work-life balance? How many of you would love to be able to go to the Maldives and have fun, specifically because you've learned the art to master more time? So, next of the most common mistakes. Are you still with me? Are you all here? All right. So quite a few people have come in a little bit later. Thank you so much for being here. Please go ahead, drop your email address in the chat box, either privately or on the group, so I can send you a gift at the end of today's session. So, manager, common mistakes. Thank you for everyone answering. And thank you for those with your fingers on the keyboard and getting interactive as well. It's always lovely, especially no one's camera is on. I feel like I'm talking to myself. So it's nice to have that interaction and know you are there. The fourth of managers' most common mistakes is communication. Now, communication comes into every single module I train, because the key to take you from a manager to a leader is, in fact, effective communication. Effective communication can help you improve so many aspects of your business. Your day-to-day conversations with your team, with your stakeholders, with your recruits, with your family, with your friends. It will improve your relationships. It will help you gain more confidence. It will help you in business. It will definitely increase your sales. If you have negotiations, which we all have to do, because at some stage we have to negotiate our performance agreements, we need to negotiate salary increases, and just day-to-day working with clients. It will help you in leadership. Learning the art to communicate will change your life. Now, even though I started training in 2005 and I wrote a lot of our training material, that was where I fell in love with training, standing in front of 80 people and sharing the tools that I was learning. But only when I started my business in 2021 did I decide to get up on stage and start speaking without notes. This is training, quite easy to do. But I decided to start learning some specific tools around communication. 2021, I signed up for 2 courses, public speaking courses, one locally, one internationally. I then became a co-coach for 2 years in South Africa before I launched my own program, Speak with Impact for Public Speaking. And these are the tools that I've brought into my leadership transformation, because the art of communicating, again, can elevate you from a manager to a leader. And the importance of learning clear communication, upwards to your stakeholders, sideways to your team, downwards with your team as well, is so incredibly important. And this may be for you just speaking one-to-one to one team member or one-to-many. I recently had a lady on my course. She owns a pharmacy in the Eastern Cape. She's got 80 staff members. And she was like, Nikki, I've never had a staff meeting because I'm petrified of speaking in public. She now comfortably stands in front of her 80 staff members and hosts meetings, simply by learning these simplified tools that have given her confidence to speak to her team. Because some of us may not lack confidence, in fact, overly confident. And often what can happen is then we are almost like the washing machine on spin cycle, going around and around and around, spitting words out endlessly. And often we can get ourselves into trouble, talk ourselves out of a deal, or not make any sense. And this is the importance of learning how to speak clearly, concisely, with confidence. So as I shared with you, I have done this. I am speaking on stages, focusing on speaking on leadership in so many different keynote presentations. And these are the tools that I've brought into this particular course for you. So how can improved communication help you lead your team? How often do you feel so misunderstood? You're just like, but I didn't mean that. And that's often when it comes to clear communication. So this course is not just going to teach you about leadership. It's going to shift the way your team sees you, hears you, but more importantly, follows your lead. Reminder, power of a leader, you have the ability to influence your team to achieve a common goal. And this comes through clear communication. So, managers, most common mistake. My slides are so excited. And let's jump on to number 5. Delegating with authority to achieve desired results. Let me ask you in the chat box, how many of you, just put it on a percentage scale, when you delegate, you get exactly the result you desire. So maybe from a, 0 to 100%. 100% every single time, 50%, 80%, how much percentage do you get? Exactly the result you desire. Let me know. When you delegate, you get the exact result you desire. Renal says 90%. Nice. Yvette says 70%, 80%. All right, everyone else is still warming up those fingers and taking those gloves off your hands. 50%, 50%. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what happens if you don't or can't delegate? Just think about that. Now, often what that is, we land up just doing it ourselves, which gives us extra work to do, makes us feel exhausted, and takes away our work-life balance. So there's some amazing benefits of delegating, but often there's quite a lot of intentional information here with delegation. I am very conscious of time. So I actually want to share with you, I'm doing this as a short course on Friday, a jam-packed 90-minute session teaching you the 6 steps of delegation, because I cannot share it all in a few minutes. But some benefits of delegation is you're empowering someone else to learn what you've already learned. And if you just shift your mindset of, I'm not giving away my tedious work, I'm not making other people do my work so I can do that thing, I'm empowering other people to learn what I've learned. That already is a mind shift and a benefit for delegation. So if I'm empowering Manette or Natasha or Washia to do something that I want to do, Renal, something that I want them to learn, I now have more time to focus on something else. But we need to make sure we've got essential criteria. And that is, do I have enough time to train you? And secondly, what's the urgency of the matter? And then most importantly, it comes back to recruitment. Do I have the right person to delegate to? And this is where we need to look at delegation. When we're not getting the desired result, number one, are you training correctly? Are you empowering correctly? Are you communicating correctly? And if all of those are tick, 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 do you have the right person? But so often we blame the person. We need to start with ourselves and learn this 6-step process. Because often what happens is we delegate. Think about it. How often do you delegate? The next thing you just land up doing it yourself anyway. That is reverse delegation, where somebody goes, well, Manette, I don't have time. Please, can you do it for me? Or actually, Tatu, I haven't, can you show me how? Or actually, maybe later. So we land up doing it ourselves. We need to observe what reverse delegation is and how we overcome it. So there's a 6-step simplified tool. And I'm going to highly encourage you, join me this Friday and learn that 6-step tool, because that tool alone will give you work-life balance. So this week, Friday, it's only 297 Rand. If you want the standard package, VIP 397. But I'll share this in an email, your thank you email at the end of today's session as well. 90 minutes training session, jam-packed with value. So do you empower your team through delegation? And think about this. Now, what happens if you don't change the way you hire, delegate, or lead? Just from a couple of things that we've touched on today. Well, you're going to stay stuck with the wrong team and constantly do the same work yourself. So a couple of other mistakes that I cover on my powerful leadership transformation, and this is just touching on a few that we have. So many people don't understand how to set goals or the purpose of a goal, as well as not understanding the difference between performance management and consequence management, following the HR disciplinary process, not understanding how to apply accountability in your business, not communicating openly to build that trustworthy environment, not learning the difference between the dictatorial, aggressive leader and, oh, I want to be liked, not understanding how to motivate your team, and not leading by example. These are just other mistakes we often make as a leader. So what keeps managers stuck? Let's think about it. Hiring under pressure. How many of you can relate to this? How many of you go, oh yeah, I would, I hire under pressure, right? Low performing teams that drain your energy. You come home, you're just like, oh my gosh, that was exhausting. How am I going to do it all again tomorrow? Overwhelmed because I had to do it all myself. Fear of confrontation. Again, a lot of S's and C's here. You don't like confrontation, but learning the skills of handling conflict, you will learn the 4-step simplified tool to handle confrontation. What if we're leading without a clear system? So most managers are losing productivity, great team members every single day, simply because they're stuck doing the same thing. Now, let me ask you, can you afford to lose the next 3 months doing the same mistakes you've identified today? Can you afford that? So I'm going to ask you now, my favorite quote, the 3 C's of life: choices, chances, and changes. You must make a choice to take a chance, or your life will never change. May I have permission to share more information with you about the powerful leadership transformation? Just let me know in the chat box. Natasha, I'd love to attend more of your training sessions, please. Fabulous. I will be sharing an email after today's session because I've got a different masterclass in 2 days focusing on speaking. Plus, I also have my delegation session on Friday. So I'll definitely share that with you. Fantastic. All right. Chantal says, yes, please. Randy says, yes, please. Very much. Yes, please. Do share. Fantastic, Natasha. Will do. Yes, please. And this is my training style. This is how I work. I work with you. I talk with you. This is how I train. This is me. What you see is what you get. So grateful. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, my name is Nikki Abraham, and I help empower managers to become effective leaders. So more importantly, they can increase productivity by creating a team environment that your team wants to perform to their full potential. And this will automatically increase your profit margins without you working harder, only smarter. So I have a 12-week course, which helps you get clarity and structure. How would that help you finally feel in control? I've taken my 32 years experience and broken it into 12 modules, 90 minutes a module, giving you simplified tools to get through that. So would you have, would have the right team member help you change the way you lead? And if you saw yourself in something or part of today's session or in lots of it, it's not a mistake. It's just clarity that change is going to help you. And clarity leads to change. So before we go there, I want to introduce you to Nadia. Nadia is somebody, she actually won my leadership course, and her story is profound. Please enjoy.
Hi, I'm Nadia, and I won Nikki's Powerful Leadership Transformation course at a fundraiser. At the time when I started the course, I was not in a leadership position, but about 2 weeks in, I got retrenched from my previous position, and I was not sure where I was going next, and my self-confidence and belief in the work that I was doing, or my ability to do my work, was very low. Nikki's leadership course gave me the confidence, and the skills and the tools to believe in myself, and the courses helped me to speak to people, has changed the way that I think about myself, and it has helped me to shatter the limiting beliefs that I have about myself. I feel a lot more confident, and now that I am almost finding myself in a leadership position, I am super excited to apply the tools that I have learned so that I may be as inspiring as Nikki to the people that I work with. Nikki, I'd like to thank you so much for the support and all of the value that you have added to my life.
Isn't that incredible? Just let me know in the chat box that you could hear that. Isn't that incredible? So just let me know you could hear. So if you're worried about investing yourself and not showing up, one thing I do is help you stay accountable. For me, it's so incredible for me to help people and see their growth. Nadia now is actually working for a digital marketing company in America and leading her own team, doing incredibly well. And I have brilliant testimonials of people whose lives have changed. So this is not a course you do on your own. It's not something you go through alone. And all you need to do is commit to the first module, and then you're just going to want to keep going. If you've stayed here and so far, this is my training style. This is how I work with people. And this is exactly how I do all my training. Now, I do want to share, I do have two types of training. I have the VIP with live, just directly working with me. It's a particular time per week for 12 weeks, and that is live Q&A. I call that my VIP group. But I also have some people that can't commit to that time and prefer doing it at their own pace alone, whereby I have my on-demand session as well. So my course is called the Powerful Leadership Transformation, PLT 12, because it's 12 modules that help you take yourself and transform from a manager into a leader. So my PLT 12, Powerful Leadership Transformation. And I just want to share with you, different sessions. So my first session goes really deep into your big why, your introduction, 60-day challenge. You will learn the benefits of becoming an effective leader, difference between the manager or leader, 6 primary responsibilities of a leader, and then how do we put this all together of pieces of a leadership puzzle. Session 2 is all about how we go ahead, set goals for ourselves and for our team, from KPIs, but most importantly, how do we think big? So a lot of managers don't set goals, or if they set them, they don't write them down, they don't share it with others, and this is the goal of stepping out of the zone. I have been using these tools since 2019. That has helped me within 3 years to 10x my business, and it's helped me to see things big. And trust me, those of you that know me or worked with me know I don't think small. And I also don't hang around with people that put a lid on my pocket. So I like something to say, what can you do and how can we go big? Session number 3 is helping you all around time mastery, focusing on the 80-20% principle, learning how to apply the 411, time blocking as well. You will learn time-saving strategies and the importance of urgent and importance, the difference between urgent and importance. Session number 4, we're going to cover quite a lot more managers' most common mistakes. So one of them is the communication and building a trustworthy environment. We also then have the dictatorial aggressive leadership style. We speak about criticism and negative discipline. How many of us have worked for someone like that? We also part 3, how to motivate your team and how do we step out of wanting to be liked? More mistakes that we cover is poor hiring decisions, going a lot deeper than what we did today. Not managing conflict and poor delegation, we touch on here, but those sessions, we actually do a 90 minutes of each of those sessions. More importantly, putting the practice of how to apply it, and then not leading by example. Plus performance management versus consequence management. Then we do the DISC profile. This is nearly a 2-hour session, understanding all your personalities, specifically identifying yours, but you learn how to do this tool, how to put it into application, how to understand yourself, your team members as well, and then how to lead your team using your personality to your strength. Session number 7, all about delegation, what we touched on today, benefits, essential criteria, reverse delegation, and the 6-step process. As I shared, this I'll be doing on Friday morning for 90 minutes. Session number 8 is all about conflict, personalities versus conflict, dangers of ignoring conflict, benefits of handling conflict, and then the 4-step process of resolving conflict. We go into session 9, the accountability process. Every single session we touch on accountability because that is session 12, but you start building the accountability tool as well. Part 1 is leading with a limitless life so that you can be purposeful in your power. Session number 10, management styles and powers, learning the difference between autocratic and participative, effective attributes of a leader, as well as manager powers. Also, how do we master our potential as a leader using our 4 steps of competency? Session number 11, I'm going to give you 5 different ways that you can host team meetings to make them fun and exciting in your business again, as well as bringing icebreakers into your team meetings again, creating positivity, some teamwork with your team, followed by how to develop your team and grow people internally. Session number 12 is all about accountability and how we inspire accountability in our team. Ooh, I see my slides got stuck there. Plus then, key to leadership, how we bring this all together. So that is a jam-packed, this will be sent to you as well, jam-packed 12 weeks. But I want to share with you, I mean, if this course will help you stop doubting your leadership and start owning your role as a confident, strategic team builder, I mean, that's what it's going to do. Now, money aside, if I had to say to you this course is free, just from what you've seen and what you've heard today, if I could help you grow from a manager into a leader, so you can lead your team to achieve common goal, increase productivity and profitability only by working smarter and not harder, who would want to work with me? Just let me know in the chat box. If this was free or not, I am in. Natasha, thank you. Fabulous. That's what I like. Go getters, right? Who would want to work with me? Manette says, I'm in. Me too. I'm in. Lindeka. Fabulous. Because I would love to say it's for free, but I've invested hundreds of thousands of rand in myself. I've also realized when somebody gets something for free, they don't see the value in it. However, taking everything I've learned to turn it into 12 modules to help you, isn't it worth it? So let me share with you. This is just, again, what other people have shared with me, some of their testimonials. I want to share specifically Non-Klankla Happiness. She actually signed up with me. And when she phoned me and I said to her, are you in a leadership role? And she said, no, I'm a paramedic, but I don't want to be a paramedic forever. I want to grow. And I said, okay, is your boss paying for you or are you paying for yourself? And she said, no, I'm investing myself. And I said, perfect. Well, I have a payment plan. I have a once-off payment. She said, I want a once-off payment. I've been saving for this. This is what I want. Now, Klankla started as a paramedic within my course. And because there's lots of assignments and putting it into action, she's like, who do I practice on? I said, practice with your team and just tell them that you're learning. Within a couple of weeks, her bosses started knowing or noticing the difference. And she got promoted. However, I sent her a message not so long ago and I was like, Klankla, I'd love to hear how you're doing. And she sent this to me last night. I have to share.
After I did the course, I got promoted from being an operational paramedic who was a shift worker to an acting sub-district manager. Imagine, Nick, sub-district manager. So I'm managing close to 90, if not 90, is 92 staff that I am managing. Yeah, I didn't think that I'll be able to do that, Nick. As you know me, as you know, when I was starting to do the course, I was also like a shy person. I can stand as a sub-district manager. And I'm looking forward to apply for the post when it being advertised. I'm not gonna be an acting SDM for so long. I'll end up being sub-district manager because of your course, Nick. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Bye.
Isn't that just so cute and so
After I
incredible? And that's the beauty. That's what I say, go and read what other people have said. I mean, another lady, Mariska, again, she invested in herself. And she also, within a couple of weeks, her bosses said to her, what's changed? And when she told them, they were like, what? Why didn't you tell us? We would have paid. But the transformation, they said, give us the invoice, we'll refund you. And 2 months ago, she's actually part of my leadership mastermind. 2 months ago, she's been promoted to a director. And it's simply taking these tools, putting them into application and making a difference in your and your team's life. So this is not for everyone. I know that, right? It's not for managers who just want to delegate and walk away and just get that promotion. It's for people that believe in themselves, people that believe in their team, but also willing to make those hard steps and movements to getting to become the best version of yourself. I like to work with leaders who want to show up, want to grow, and lead with purpose, who are willing to do the work to make the difference. So program components, as I shared with you, I have two options. VIP is presented live, but I also have this on demand at your own time. Every session is exactly like this. If you choose live, this is me interacting with you. Otherwise, on demand is just watching the recording at your own time. I have a bi-monthly Q&A. I always say I'm your coach in your pocket. If there's anything you need, I'm available. Each session has a workbook. You'll have weekly assignments, and at the end, a certificate of excellence. So you can continue doing this at your own pace, at your own time, slow, or you can jump on and do it fast. So the Powerful Leadership Transformation, what I do want to share with you, so this is my on-demand course. You sign up, you get immediate access to the 12 modules. They're broken up more into bite-sized chunks. You do it at your own time. Plus, I also wanted to share with you the recruiting talent course, because so many of us are part of the recruitment process, or if we're not yet, should be. And that is my recruiting talent. So today I'm going to make an offer for you of my Powerful Leadership Transformation and my recruiting talent, but I have a combo deal as well. So my recruiting talent course also just helps you find the right talent. So the combo deal price, you can either do the one or the other. This is all the on-demand. But before I go there, for people that are action takers, people that are ready, people that are saying, save my seat, I am in, I've got some amazing bonuses as well. I work with a lot of people in business on my Business Go-Getters Mastermind. I host a 30-minute session every single Tuesday morning. So you don't even have to have done any of my courses to be in my business mastermind. Currently, I've got a lovely group, all different industries, and we help each other, motivate each other to reach our goals. That value is 900 Rand. Then also you will have free access to my leadership mastermind for 3 months. That value is 1,800 Rand. I do that twice per month. Plus, you'll have your live coaching with myself, valued at 1,800 Rand. You will also get 3 bonus training sessions. Go-getters get 1 free training session per week. So I've got how to handle challenging clients is one, value at 1,997. I've just got the same tool there as well, but you get 3 different training sessions, one of them being the delegation. And let me ask you, if this is everything you have that you need to lead and build your high-performing team in one powerful package, how will this affect your life? Simplified tools, help you to recruit the right team, lead with authority. I mean, do you see the value of this being a little different in your life? Or could it be life-changing? Just let me know. L for little, LC for life-changing. I know how it's changed my life with what I've learned. Let me know for yourself. Awesome. Lots of life-changing. Vit says life-changing. Tasha says life-changing. Everyone else is getting their fingers warmed up. So go ahead and let me know. I also have a guarantee. If you're not happy within the first 3 sessions, full 100% guaranteed refund. If you're on the on-demand, it will be within a certain period of time, but I do have access to see what's watched, when it was watched as well. So this is the price for my on-demand course. My Powerful Leadership on-demand course is 997 on demand. that is immediate access to the course. You immediately get all those bonuses if you sign up within the next 24 hours. My recruiting talent on demand is 4997. Again, immediate access for my recruiting talent course. If you want the combination, my powerful leadership transformation, 9997, plus recruiting talent, okay, that total is 14,994. But as a thank you for being here today, there's a 20% discount, which takes it down to 11,997, and you will have immediate access to powerful leadership transformation on demand and recruiting talent on demand. Again, as a thank you, if you've dropped your email, I'll share all this information with you. So just the value, you know, the Go-Getters Business Mastermind at 900, your Leadership Mastermind at 1800, your bi-monthly coaching session with myself, 800, how to handle challenging clients, 1,997, plus 3 additional training sessions. I'm always working with new training material, other trainers as well. That is 5,991. The 12 weeks powerful leadership transformation on demand, valued at 997. My recruiting talent on demand, 4997. The total price, 27,482. But within the next 24 hours, the first 10 people, you will save 15,485. So the price is only 11,997. So on that, I am going to just drop the combo deal right there. And for anyone that has any questions, I'm also going to share my live VIP price with you as well. This course I have trained nationally and internationally and over the last 20 years. The difference it's made into people's lives is amazing. So again, got the PLT, Powerful Leadership Transformation, 9997, Recruiting Talent, 4997, or the combo deal. So for those of you want to do the interested in the VIP program, that is where you have me live, direct, answering any questions right there. Get all those bonuses as well. My next launch is the 1st of July. It will be 90 minutes for 12 weeks, and it will be live from 3 until 4:30. And that price is on sale at the moment at 15,997, usually 18,997. So I will drop the link for those of you that are interested in the live VIP course with you as well. But I will also drop all those other links in your email. So just a reminder, delegation on Friday. If you just want to do one session, come get a little bit more, find out more, and just ready to dive right in. 297, which is standard, that's just show up live. 397 means you will get the recording, a workbook, and live Q&A. So I'm going to take it back for that. I'm just going to take it back there. There's another training session coming up. This is one of your free sessions if you sign up today. Find your voice of AI, creating captivating content. Again, masterminders get that for free. So I've also got a couple more masterclasses. I've got another leadership this evening. Tomorrow I've got Speak with Impact, your elevator pitch. So there's those dates. But again, I've prepped it in the email to send to you as well. So you don't have to take all this information right now. But if this is something you want, Natasha said, I want to know about more courses. Learning how to speak clearly and concisely with impact, specifically for sales, this is for you. So lots more information. I want to say thank you so much. I'm just going to go back to the slide. Lots of information. I really, really appreciate everybody's time. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask Q&A. Natasha, absolutely. The email will be going as soon as I finish the session. As long as I've got your email address, I will be tagging you and sharing that with you, all the details. Thank you so much. So are there any questions, anything I can help you with? I appreciate every single one, your time for being here, for showing up. Thank you so much. And also, if you're really thinking about doing this and you're just going, budget, speak to your boss. Maybe they can contribute. Maybe you can pay them off. And for a lot of companies, it is a tax write-off. But I would never go to my boss and just say, please pay for me. I always say, can you support me in wanting to do this? Or maybe assist me with that as well. Is the session available to listen to again? Ronald, I am doing another session this evening at 7 o'clock. I may put this, I could potentially put this session up for a few days onto my YouTube channel. So if you follow me YouTube, Nikki Abraham, I will do that for you. If that works for you, let me know. All right. Thank you. Great question. If there's no more questions, is it time? Oh, there we go. Fantastic. No more questions. Please, please, please do feel free to reach out. Feel free to send me an email, anything you want to discuss. But who's ready to dive in and start, be it on demand or VIP? Let me know. Who is ready? Thank you so much, Chantel. Who is ready to dive in? I know that's lots of different offers, from leadership to recruitment to on demand to live to delegation. But I'm just so super excited and privileged that I get to share valued information. I want to thank you so much. Awesome. This is Zani. Thank you. Thank you. Fabulous. Well, I'm going to leave it on the screen for now. If there are any further questions, please feel free to type in the chat box. If anybody would like me to phone them, welcome in the chat box to drop your number. I have a couple of minutes before my next session. I can give you a call. Anything you want to discuss, if you want me to meet with your bosses, your HR partners, whoever you need to meet with. I do a lot of this training live and online, in person and all around the country. Thank you so much. Appreciate every single one of you. Have a wonderful day.